Hello, all the crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite. Welcome back to The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Last time, we followed these two nerds into Coathspire. We beat up a bunch of Forsworn outside who were just kind of minding their own business, who would just, like, set up camp in the cave. We didn't think too hard about that, and then we entered the cave, and we found this, which is a bit of a... and we've received a new mission to go and talk to the Greybeards and see if we can learn a shout that will make Alduin feel bad and stop attacking people. So we're gonna do that today. By the way, one thing that I don't think I mentioned when I did pick up the Blade's armor in the last video, that I'd just like to draw attention to, and is I don't think the Blade's armor, helmet, etc. have any special attributes attached to them. But the dragon, where was it? The Dragon Bane is a sword, which is a piece of unique armor, unique weapon, which has a unique enchantment on it, which you can't like disassemble at a crafting table. It will do extra damage to dragons. It's a decent sword. I want to say this is all officially like ebony class armor, which is a very powerful like set of equipment that you won't be able to craft until a fairly high smithing level. But you can guarantee to find a set here in Skyhaven Temple, and you can also my torch went out apparently. I think level like 70 smithing or level 80 smithing or something like that is when you can start crafting it on your own. Other than that, I think we're done here. So there's nothing... There's no other rooms for me to explore. I can just walk up these stairs and head on outside. I don't think there's anything down that way. It's just a long hallway in the dark. And this is going to let us out into an overpass over the river valley, the river canyon that we ran past on our way to Coathspire. So when we came down from Markarth, we came from that direction down that road. You might have actually noticed the top of these stone structures here when I was running past. I don't think I ever like looked up in this direction, but I know you can see it from the road. And let's see, we don't have much. It's a bit of an outdoor dining area, I suppose, for whoever happens to be residing inside Skyhaven Temple. If you wait a while, if you progress a little bit in the story and come back, Esbern and Delphine, once they're done, like, being nerds about the art history inside, they can sometimes be found out here. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to do, or can we fast travel back to the top of the throat of the world? I think we can fast travel back to the top of the throat of the world, and we can, let's see. Come on inside. Is there actually anything else in here? Clinic supplies are still there. The Greybeards don't exactly seem in a hurry to get to their food. It's been quite a few in-game days since we did that. Alrighty then, so let's go find Arngir. He's sort of the spokesperson for the Greybeard, and in the wrong part of the monastery. He's sort of the spokesperson for the Greybeard. I think the official explanation is that the others, like, their voices are too strong, and they would like unrelenting force you just by like opening their mouths or something to that effect. And Arngir is the one who's able to keep it under control a little bit. So let's go and talk to him.
Who have you been talking to? Yes, for matters of such gravity, we need to know where you stand, or who you stand with. If you wish to stand alone, so be it. If you wish for our help, you will answer my question.
He'll actually exit the dialogue flow with you if you do that. All right, you can be difficult, or you can just you know, talk to him. Let's see. Let's just tell him about the Blades. I did say that we're gonna run into some differing opinions about who you should be siding with once we get to the Greybeards.
They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes? No, of course not. Forgive me, Dragonborn. I have been intemperate with you. But heed my warning. The Blades may say they serve the Dragonborn, but they do not. They never have. No, I cannot teach it to you, because I do not know it. It is called Dragonrend, but its words of power are unknown to us. We do not regret this loss. Dragonrend holds no place within the way of the voice. but not Dragonrend. The knowledge of that shout was lost in the time before history began. Perhaps only its creators ever knew it, but I am not the one to speak of it to you. It was created by those who had lived under the unimaginable cruelty of Alduin's dragon cult. Their whole lives were consumed with hatred for dragons, and they poured all their anger and hatred into this shout. When you learn a shout, you take it into your very being. In a sense, you become the shout. In order to learn and use this shout, you will be taking this evil into yourself. Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses. He is our leader. He surpasses us all in his mastery of the way of the voice. He lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege. Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax.
Alright. I actually remembered him being a little bit more difficult when you talk to him, when you tell him about the blades. I don't know if I just, if there are other dialogue options that you can pick that will cause him to be a little bit more angry with you, or if I was just remembering it being more extreme than it was. Anyway, let's see. We can go outside. There is a door here. I feel like High Hrothgar could use some exit signs or something like that, because it's doors kind of blend into the walls pretty easily. Anyway, there are quite a few different doors on the back end of the monastery, and there's a couple ways out. Where are we going? We need to go up in this direction, I think. By the way, I didn't say this before, but the joke that I'm just like legally obligated to make whenever someone reaches High Hrothgar, especially if it's someone who's playing Skyrim for the first time, is that you can think about this as like going up, walking into the Vatican, and demanding that the Pope just tell you his favorite swear words. And I've heard some people make the argument that it's not really exactly the same as just asking the Pope for swear words, because like swear words are like, people think they're rude and everything, but they don't actually do anything. To which I say, you've never met. And there are people who will disagree with that, saying things like swear words are a little rude and everything, but they won't like have any tangible effect on the outside world. Like the word ass is just one syllable, but let me tell you, by the time the word even finished coming out of your mouth, they'd already have the detention form out and ready to go.
Hey.
Alright, so let's walk up this way and see what words of power they have for us here. Okay, so these words of powers, I've just been like standing over them, trying to make them activate, but they're sticking a little.
Standing of clear skies. This is your final gift from us, Dragonborn. Use it well. Clear skies will blow away the mist, but only for a time. The path to Paarthurnax is perilous, not to be embarked upon lightly. Keep moving, stay focused on your goal, and you will reach the summit.
Alright, is that all? Let's see. Yeah, I think I said this the first time we came to High Hrothgar, is that sometimes when you, when one of the graybeards gives you a word like that on the ground, sometimes if you stand over it, it won't activate immediately, and that definitely felt like that was happening there. Let's see, there is a little bit more to High Hrothgar up here. I don't think there's anything really interesting, but there is this, like, I almost called it a stone outhouse, but I don't think this is exactly what outhouses usually look like. There's a stone tower over here, and I don't think there's really anything interesting inside it. There's just, okay. It is literally just a raised platform. Occasionally, you can find the Greybeards out here. I don't know if there's any, like, reason that they're out here, but you can. And is this just like a, I'm now curious. Can I just, like, jump down? I don't really feel like going through a loading screen again, but if I go and equip the... Oh, I've got 3 dragon skulls, and I never equipped Become Ethereal. Let's do that. I don't have any other shouts that I can really use right now, but... That was not... I meant to equip that. Hang on. And I'm gonna have to wait for my shout meter to recharge, aren't I? Alright, so let's actually do this properly this time. And I never actually showed off what Fime Zagron does, and that's just going to turn you into a ghost, and it will allow you to do things such as not take damage. Possibly most importantly, you will not take damage by falling, which means that you can take some extremely fun shortcuts around the world with that shout. Anyway, up here, I didn't come out here earlier. Ooh, no, really? 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 Okay, fortunately, I should have autosaved when I went through that loading screen, but, like... Okay, I knew that you took damage from running into that thing. I need to unlock my shout before I can equip it. I knew that you took damage running into that thing, but I didn't think you took it that fast, and I didn't think I would, like, get stuck on it. So, if you'd come out this way earlier, you wouldn't be able to progress past here because when you're, when this obstruction is here, obviously you saw what happened. But if I were to go and equip the Clear Skies shout, we can use our trinomial Lok Vakor, and we can clear the way, just like Arngir said, and we can continue up to the even higher up on the mountain, even closer to the peak of the throat of the world, and let's be on our way. All right. So we're gonna run into some enemies. There are some goats. That's not an enemy. Am I being attacked, or is that just the weather that's damaging me? I think that's just the weather that's damaging me. Do you mind? Oh, the goat. Help. I have no idea what's happening to my stamina meter here. I don't know if this always happens when you're running up the throat of the world, or if I'm just noticing it now because I was looking at it. All right. I've never had trouble with this before. All right, so here we have an enemy. I'm gonna go and take out my Atronak. This is a new enemy. This is gonna be an Ice Wraith, and it's basically a generic icy spirit type enemy. And they're a little bit hard to fight. Not because they do an insane amount of damage or anything like that, although they can get quite a few hits off you at once, which kind of sucks. But because they one, they move around pretty quickly, so they're hard to hit, at least with magic, and two, they're very bright, and they tend to spawn in bright, snowy areas, and that can make them a little bit hard to like see, which can make them a little bit more difficult. I was looking for the, for lack of better words, the body, the pile of like ice, snow, debris that they will leave behind when you kill them, but I couldn't find one. It might have fallen like down the mountain or something like that. Let's see. Alright, I don't know if that was another one of those cyclones or not. Alright, here we have the ice pile. Or if that was just like generic like fog, but it seems the Clear Skies clears it away anyway. Alright. I know that it's been popular ever since the Let's Plays became a thing to talk about the Let's Play curse, which is basically whenever someone's like recording themselves doing something, they're instantly worse at it. It's sort of gained like mythic status over the last 20 years, but I don't really think it's that deep. I really do just think that it's more the case of like I'm only half paying attention to the game right now because I am kind of trying to. Alright, is this about where I died? I think it is. Anyway, I don't think the whole Let's Play curse thing is all that, like, deep and or interesting. It really is just that, like, I'm playing the game. That's, I think, the one that killed me. I'm only, like, half paying attention, and I'm talking about things that half the time aren't even, like, actually related to the game. Which just makes everything just a little bit harder, you know? Anyway, if I can, yeah, let Lydia go. She's the one with the armor and health and whatever, so she can go in the front. This Ice Wraith Essence, by the way, this is kind of like the Frostbite Venom that you pick off spiders, except instead of being a poison that you apply to your weapons or whatever, it's just a potion that you can drink, and it will give you a little bit of resistance to frost. I could use it now, but I honestly don't think it will really help me that much because most of the damage that I'm taking right now is from, like, things physical attacks. There is a steel shield and the remains of some poor soul who didn't quite make it all the way up to the top of the mountain. Anyway, let's keep going. By the way, I don't think I've pointed this out before. I absolutely love these piles of stone. They're just kind of a generic set piece that you can find really all over the place in the world of Skyrim, and they're not really anything special, but just imagining, like, who actually would have built these, like, in world diegetically, like, how bored must some NPC have been to just run around just stacking stones like this all over the place, because they really can be found all over the place. Anyway, I fixate on the weirdest things. So, Parthenax, the Greybeard's leader, who Arngeir mentioned, I haven't gotten a chance to talk about him at all yet. You might notice something about his name that's a little bit different from most of the other characters that we've met so far. And if you haven't picked it out so far, we're going to be meeting him pretty soon, and we'll be seeing what's up with that. I don't know if this really I thought we were closer to the top than we were. Also, this wind is like blowing sideways through these rocks. You would think that it would have been rotated 90 degrees and it would be blowing like out towards this direction here. And I'm alright. Managed to not like stand totally in the line of fire and drop dead that time, fortunately. But yeah, you would think that the wind would have been blowing like in the other direction, coming through the rocks, being sort of like funneled down towards the path like that. Rather than blowing perpendicularly. Anyway, let's see. We have arrived. Top of the throat of the world has been discovered. Let's see a lovely word wall over there. And Parthenax is this guy. Oh my god, camera, cooperate. No, is that as good as I'm gonna get?
What brings you to my Strumach, my mountain? I am as my father Akatosh made me, as are you, Dovahkiin. Tell me, why do you come here, Volan? Why do you intrude on my meditation? Drem, patience. There are formalities which must be observed at the first meeting of two of the Dove. By long tradition, the Elder speaks first. Hear my Thum. Feel it in your bones. Match it if you are Dovahkiin. The word calls you. Go to it.
Alright, so Parthenax, 1 is a dragon, and 2, I think pretty much everybody knows this by now, is voiced by Charles Martinet, the voice of Super Mario, or at least...
The Rotmulag waits.
That's Word of Power, by the way. I think everybody knows this right now, but this guy is voiced by the same guy as Super Mario, or at least until recently the voice of Super Mario. I think Martinet finally retired recently. Anyway. So Breathing Fire is sort of a classic dragon move, and he is going to gift us his understanding of the Word of Power so that we don't have to spend a soul unlocking it ourselves. And if I were to go and equip that, Shout's Fire Breath over here, we can go and...
Now, show me what you can do. Greet me not as Argonian, but as Dova.
Hey, when you think about it, Argonian is at least like 30% of the way towards being Dova. I'm just saying. Anyway.
You delay. Are you yes. Sosedo Vrostmul. The dragon blood runs strong in you. It is long since I had the pleasure of speech with one of my own kind. So, you have made your way here to me. No easy task for a Jaw mortal, even for one of Dovasos, dragon blood. What would you ask of me? Ah, I have expected you, Proda. You would not come all this way for Tinvak with an old Dova. No, you seek your weapon against Alduin. Alduin Comet Teed. What else would you seek? Alduin and Dovahkiin return together. But I do not know the Thum you seek. Croesus, it cannot be known to me. Your kind, Jaw, mortals, created it as a weapon against the Dove, the dragons. Our Hadrime, our minds, cannot even comprehend its concepts. Drem, all in good time. First, a question for you. Why do you want to learn this Thum?
I like this world and I don't want it to end. I remember there were some funny responses up here. I actually honestly kind of haven't been paying that much attention to the dialogue choices that I've been selecting. I've kind of just been mindlessly mashing E, which maybe isn't the greatest way to play Skyrim, but as far as I'm concerned, this is a pretty good answer.
Prusa, as good a reason as any. There are many who feel as you do, although not all. Some would say that all things must end, so that the next can come to pass. Perhaps this world is simply the egg of the next Kalpa, Lean Vokeen. Would you stop the next world from being born?
Alright, so I take it to mean that Parthenax here is a fan of the, what is it, conformal cyclic cosmology theory of, like, the universe.
You have much to learn of the Dove, then. There is nothing else but philosophy to a Dova. It is no accident that we do battle with our Thum, our voices. There is no distinction between debate and combat to a dragon. Tinvak Losgra. For us, it is one and the same. But you have indulged my weakness for speech long enough. Croesus, now I will answer your question. Do you know why I live here, at the peak of the Monaven, what you name Throat of the World?
Dragons like... I'm sorry, I forgot about that one.
True, but few now remember that this was the very spot where Alduin was defeated by the ancient tongues. Varucht Unslad. Perhaps none but me now remember how he was defeated. Yes and no. Viknus Nikaron. Alduin was not truly defeated either. If he was, you would not be here today seeking to defeat him. The Nords of those days used the Dragonrend shout to cripple Alduin, But this was not enough. Ok Mulag Unsrad. It was the Kell, the Elder Scroll. They used it to cast him adrift on the currents of time.
Elder Scroll. So we are finally meeting the namesake of this this here franchise of video games.
How to explain in your tongue? The Dove have words for such things that Jaw do not. It is an artifact from outside time. It does not exist, but it has always existed. Rahwatlan. They are fragments of creation. The Kele, Elder Scrolls as you name them, they have often been used for prophecy. Yes, your prophecy comes from an Elder Scroll. But this is only a small part of their power. Zofa Suryek. Not intentionally. Some hoped he would be gone forever. Forever lost. Nay. I knew better. Tidbo Amativ. Time flows ever onward. One day, he would surface. Which is why I have lived here. For thousands of mortal years, I have waited. I knew where he would emerge, but not when. Tid Krent. Time was shattered here because of what the ancient Nords did to Alduin. If you brought that Kell, that Elder Scroll back here to the Tid Ahran, the Time Wound, with the Elder Scroll that was used to break time, you may be able to cast yourself back to the other end of the break. You could learn Dragonrend from those who created it. Croesus, no. I know little of what has passed below in the long years I have lived here. You are likely better informed than I. Trust your instincts, Dovahkiin. Your blood will show you the way.
Alright, I think that is everything here. As usual, we can ask him more questions, but I don't want to sit here for any longer than I have to.
Greetings.
Did you just restart from exactly where I... Alright, I don't know. Game is just like that sometimes. So he's gonna fly off. These snow particles are very, like, local to this column of space, like, right here. Anyway, so there's a lot to unpack there if you've not been familiar with how the Skyrim game works. So it is possible that you might have run into one or two other words of power for Yul Torshul, the Fire Breath Shout, elsewhere in the game. This is actually also possible for Whirlwind Sprint before you get up to High Hrothgar the first time. If you do spend a lot of time exploring, you can find the other two words of Wold Nakest lying around just in random dungeons, and it is, if you do have them, by the time you make it to Arngeir the first time, he will, like, remark on it and just give you the next one, whatever that happens to be. That's not the case for Unrelenting Forest Husrada, because you learn all three words as part of the story there. But anyway, it's also true for Yul Torshul, the Fire Breath Shout. You can find two other words throughout Skyrim. And if you find them before you make it to Parthenax here, he'll give you the next one in sequence, and then he'll just remark on the fact that you already know how to breathe fire. Which, again, is a very traditional dragon sort of, you know, thing. Let's see, the name Parthenax itself is a one of those trinomial dragon names. We've met a few of them, Alduin, Myrmilnir, and I think one or two others might have been mentioned. In, for example, like Dragon's Reach and Whiterun. Your name means, off the top of my head, peace, overlord. I can't remember what Nox means. There was one point where I like knew all this, but that was a long time ago now. I'll put it on screen now. And also, speaking of dragon language, whenever you actually talk to dragons, or whenever they talk to you, which is usually more likely to happen because they do tend to have a lot to say, they will intersperse Dovazul, the dragon language, with, you know, normal English. And in Parthenax's case, he often will just immediately say the English translation of whatever he just said in the dragon language, but not always. And if I've been paying attention, I will be putting captions underneath the actual dialogue captions to translate to English. He did not explain, I don't think, the Monavin, the name for the throat of the name for the throat of the world, which is where we are now. Actually does not literally translate into Throat of the World. It translates into Mother Wind in the Skyrim dragon language, which it's not explicitly said anywhere, but you can find, I think there's like 800, maybe a little more than that, like 900 canon words of the Skyrim dragon language, and you can generally compound them to make, you know, bigger words, not unlike Germanic or Old English. And yeah, Mona means mother, Ven means wind, and the people who do the writing for the Elder Scrolls definitely do not miss.
Hey.
I'll say that much. Anyway, speaking of things that you can find hidden throughout the world, I'm going to not immediately follow the quest marker, but instead I'm going to go and just hop up to the top of the summit, which isn't something that you ever have to do, but because the game designers knew that people were going to do this, they did put something up there. And if I go into third person, you can see how utterly ridiculous this looks. But with a little bit of effort, you can abuse the physics system, and you can make it all the way up here. And there should be a little reward for you should you decide to do that, which is going to be here in the form of a malachite ore vein, an ebony ore vein, and right here, right next to the very tallest rock in the entire game, is a notched pickaxe sticking out of another ebony ore vein, which is, if that sounds like a reference to a game about mining and crafting, you're not wrong. I believe the notched pickaxe is going to be carrying an enchantment which raises the wielder's smithing abilities. And I don't think this one is actually unique. I think you can destroy this at an enchanting table and apply it to other things. But I haven't actually talked about mining yet. If you find a pickaxe throughout the world, you can activate an ore vein like this, and you can go through what is possibly the worst mining animation in all of video games. And you can just gather some ebony ore, some iron ore, some malachite ore, whatever it happens to be. Or after I let that play, you can actually take out your pickaxe and you can just attack ore veins. And you can mine this way. And it's so much faster. And I don't think the game ever actually tells you that you can do this. I swear I just discovered this by accident one day. And it turns out that it actually works. You can just attack ore veins to mine stuff from them. I'm probably not going to really go out of my way to mine stuff from ore veins whenever I see them. You can find them in quite a few places, in caves, and there are some dungeons that are just straight up mines, which obviously tend to have a lot of exposed veins like this. I'm not going to go out of my way to do this. I'm not going to waste carry weight on a on this here pickaxe, because they weigh 10. Which is definitely not nothing, and I feel like I've got other stuff that I'd like to take up my inventory space with. But just a fun little Skyrim fact, a little reference to the game of Minecraft. Notch hasn't been involved in the creation of Minecraft for probably, what, 10 years now or so? I forgot when exactly he sold Mojang to Microsoft. For better or for worse, because Notch is a bit of a divisive figure, to say the least. But this game does pay tribute to him. Anyway, the voice of Super Mario. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to say on the matter up here? I can't really remember, and I do think this is going to be a nice place to end it off. We can, I want to end this video on, like, a nice view. I want to end all these videos on, like, nice views. So, can I... We're almost so high up that, like, you can see, like, actually the camera's far clipping distance where you just, like, the far clipping plane of the camera, you can't see anything past it. And that almost ruins the effect a little bit. Like, that's how high in the air we are right now. So, you know what? I think I might actually just end this off looking at this here word wall. Alright, smile for the camera, Parthenax. My name is Dragonite. You should all go check out Wizarducks and the Lost Hat, which is one of the games that I like to work on when I'm not doing YouTube stuff. Link to the Steam page can be found down below. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.